And good morning, campers. We're basically sun just coming up, or well, around the back of the clouds anyway, here in the UK, London. And I'm basically just putting a quick video out because apparently there is something going on in Russia. So I just thought I'd show you the eurdep monitoring system around Russia. See how efficient it is, and see what information might be gleaned. And as you can see here, I'll just zoom in on the Russian portion. Basically, around here is Russia, and or Moscow, I should say. And so basically, you can see the patch of monitoring stations around there, some green, some blue. The green sort of saying under 0.2 microsieverts, so there's nothing more than 0.2 microsieverts. And I've actually, if you look at the top here, I've got it on 2-day setting on this one. I'm now going to drop it back to its default, which is 1 day, and I'm taking it off maximum value because I was just having a look at that. I'll put last value, and I'm going to hit refresh. Oh dear. Now I'm going to pull away just to give you the whole shot of what's happened there. And I can tell you that at 6 o'clock on the 5th, all the monitoring stations in Russia were turned off. Belarus and Belarus and Ukraine were already turned off, and obviously we were discussing Slovenia, which was turned off yesterday because we thought there's something going on there. We're getting some pickups in neighbouring countries, and I was having a look because I thought, well, if it happened at 6 o'clock yesterday, really that should be maybe being felt around some of the bordering countries that do have monitoring systems. And I've looked and I haven't found much. I found one. The only issue they're all completely flat around there. You can see, I don't think there's many monitoring stations available to us. Poland seems a bit quiet so I think they've turned a lot off, and all the blue ones I've looked at. I'll just show you one here. Let's take one. Let's take this one. One right in the middle. We'll boot that up, and should be a nice flat straight line. And if I go to the month, it will be a flat straight line. And they are one flat straight line. It's got a little dimple there. Yep. So, since January the 8th, on the 15th, there was a massive peak. And there's a lot of these that have these straight lines, and I think statistically they're there to be left on, so that when they're running the statistics at the end of the year, and they say this is how much we put out, and this is how much we measured on our monitoring systems, and then finally, this is how much we switched our monitoring systems off, might affect the statistics a bit. So they need to keep a certain amount on. They can have a certain amount turned off for repairs and what have you. You can imagine the games they're having. But that's Poland. They're usually quite well marked up. In fact, actually, France, which isn't known for having many of its monitors on, is busy. It's got loads of monitors going, all except around Luxembourg. But I'm just going to zoom in on Luxembourg there. Don't know why, but it seems to be quietening off there in Luxembourg. I'm not even going to look. Back to Russia. So, basically it's turned off. We have no information. There isn't much to glean there. All I can do is just very quickly show you one from the Czech Republic, and this was bubbling up from the 2nd. So this is not related to the Russian incident. This is related to our possibly Slovenian incident. but I just thought I'd put that in there just to show there's other things going on. This is Sanuk, Poland, with an incredibly straight, as you see, if that remains straight for the last month. There's been quite a lot going on. Let's see. Oh yeah, you see, that's my point about those. That's Latvia, very straight, and should we see for the whole month, which has been quite busy radiologically, did it manage to stay nice? Yeah. So once again, we're just looking at very straight lines. This one's a little bit interesting. Kozolin from Poland, maybe a bit honest, but there on the 6th, well, towards the end of the 5th, a break, and I think really, let's just get that down to 12 hours. Right, okay, so you can get a better idea of what the break is. So there's a couple of hours break there, possibly something coming in from Russia, with love. Doing a bit of James Bond advertising, but Romania, just showing you that there didn't seem to be anything being shown between the 5th and the 6th, and the usual mayhem there. I was just generally digging around. Romania, switch off there, but before the 5th. There was a switch off there before the 5th in Romania. So that's not likely to do with it. And then basically I was just going to quickly take you to the Russian Federation, which, although the things on the map you can access them, basically it's just chugging along at 120. This is just, you know, in Moscow, chugging along at 120. Switch off. And we're just going to get that for you. We have to do 2 days because it is now, and I'll have to do polyline. Oh dear, can't see it. Right, we'll have to do a week. Okay, but there is a switch off, and you know, I have checked all these maps there. 6 o'clock in the morning, February the 5th. Let's get 1 or 2 more. Once again, just to show you that they weren't showing anything at the time. This one, this Kovo. I mean, the one thing I will say about this, there is kind of a pattern. I look for patterns in these, so it's 2, you know, it's flat. But this one isn't. It's, yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything major there. The only thing I would say is that on this one it does show a slight increase there, which could be just a normal variable, but the timings might be suspicious. But that would be very early in the morning on February the 5th, so I'm not too sure if that's the issue there. So once again, and you can have a look at these yourself, you have to put the polyline onto, right, here we are, I'm over this way. Once again, a slight raise there. This is Pavlovo, and but there's been stuff going on there basically all month, certainly for the last few weeks, but it's just bubbling. But don't know if that was a sign of anything or just a normal pattern. And once again, Russians, and all these Russian, they're basically very flat, all the Moscow ones. So I was just going to show you that. I wish I could have shown you something a little bit more. So we'll go back to the Russian thing there. You can see there's a switch off all over Russia from 6 o'clock in the morning. Nothing unusual prior to that in the Russian monitors, and we obviously had Belarus and what have you knocking off before. We've got something going on in Slovenia. Is it a massive cover-up? Are we trying to blame the Russians? We know there's something going on in Slovenia before the reported Russian thing. If we've got more than one thing going on, food for thought.